Hey there everyone, this is ChefMKT, and welcome back to Let's Play
Riviera, the promised land.
Where's the patchouli mouse kisser? There you are! I've been looking for you all over the place. You will not believe how much stress I have had, and now you've gone and disappeared again. Great. Oh well, whatever. Alright, so in the previous video we have reached Lacrima Castle, and now we are ready to explore its innards. The Moonlit Garden. In the castle's courtyard, stone pillars and small shrubs line a garden path. Ooh, that sounds pretty. And yeah, look at this place, it's just beautiful.
So this is it.
It's amazing.
It's so beautiful. I thought it'd be...
Infested with demons? Me too. Wait, I sense an evil presence. Looks can be deceiving. Be careful.
I was afraid you'd say something like that.
Yep, Thea with them demon senses. She's like a radar.
Someone's headed this way.
Gasp.
A guard?
Alright, so you have two choices, hide or fight. I'm going to hide. Because, quite frankly, it's not really worth it to battle this guy. Because, one, the enemies that you encounter isn't really that interesting. And two, I already have the Flamberge, so what's the point? I already got what I needed.
I can't believe he didn't see us.
I know, right?
There may be more guards ahead. Let's be careful.
Lena's always careful.
Guards really need to be more observant with their surroundings. Sheesh.
What a lovely garden. It's a shame it's fallen into the hands of demons. Thea! Let's find out what's going on here. Demons! Ein, what should we do?
We should fight, I think.
Let's tame that mutt.
Sounds like an idea. Alrighty, so this battle isn't really any different from any of the other ones we've encountered. So just bring in your main weapons, then the Naga Fang to get your S rank. Pretty simple, not much else to talk about here.
Ein,
However, there's a small tutorial.
I would like to inform you of one thing.
Huh?
I want to tell you about the position change command. What's that? During battle, you can change formation, rotating clockwise, swapping front and back lines.
You can do that?
Yes, you can. When it's your turn, please press select. Then choose position from the menu. You'll have 3 choices. Please try each one.
How many times can I use the position shift?
Just once per turn. Plus, the available commands depend on how full the overdrive meter is.
So, it gets complicated.
Lena is lost. Try it a few times and you'll catch on.
I hope so.
Let's give it our all.
Okay, that's enough with the chit-chat. Just a quick little in-depth look into this. Basically, what she's talking about here is that you need a minimum of a level 1 overdrive meter in order to use the rotate right and left options. And finally, you actually need a minimum requirement of 2 levels of your overdrive meter in order to use the flip. Now, that is only a requirement. It doesn't actually use the meter when you do that. So as you can see here, you need to have an overdrive bar, must be level 2 or higher. And that's all that she was talking about there. Now, as for the position changing command itself, it's really not used that much at all during the game. There's no need to use that, but in a few times it does become useful. It really is actually very useful to have around. But it's very, very few and far in between when you actually need to use it. And that's about all I need to say about that subject matter. Now, the one thing you need to worry about this little puppy here is that it can poison you. And oh wow, it looks like I'm going to actually learn Lena's overdrive skill with his bow. Cool. So I can probably talk about stat gains and the mechanics of it in a little bit, I think. It will probably be a good time to do that. And it looks like I'm... Damn it. I was one way too long. Oh well, whatever. Yeah, you use a bullet dive, then I can, like, totally shock and amaze you with my lightning ball attack. And yes, there are some attacks that will force a formation change like so. And that can get very annoying at times. Alright, so let's finish it off with Nagafang and call it a day. Kablamo.
I won't hold back!
Alright, oh, I also haven't mentioned the differences between the magic and attack formations and how they affect your delay. But I'll probably explain that in a future battle. Alright, that's the puppy put down.
Victory!
Now give me that overskill.
Right, we did it!
Yay! Arrow Rain. Beautiful. Oh yeah! Alright, so just take a quick look at this. The hunting, or not the hunting knife, the canine fang is basically an item that only Lena can use, and Iron, but it's not really that good as you can see because there's a low percentage chance to hit. But with Lena, one, the enemy cannot avoid or guard this attack at all, and second, it has a slayer effect against beast-type enemies like that dog that we fought. So that's kinda cool, but it's not really used all that much at all, so I'm just going to drop it.
We managed to beat it. We're lucky there was only one.
Seems like the castle is well guarded.
Can we really handle this on our own? I'm beginning to have doubts. What should we do? We must skill up and gain more power.
Skill up? You mean learn new moves?
Yes. When we find new items, we should use them to build experience. We need experience to learn new moves?
Yes, Lena, you do need experience to learn new moves. Oh, jeez.
Yes, that's correct. When we skill up, our stats will increase too. We'll be able to take on stronger foes.
But will we even have a chance to train?
You have a point there. Well, we could train in between battles. You mean like push-ups? No, I mean fighting against suitable enemies.
Sounds like a good idea.
To start a training battle, just press the select button and choose practice.
But won't we be wasting our items?
Don't worry. Using them in training doesn't count.
Aha! So that's the most important thing you need to know. When you do training mode, your item durability does not decrease. In 99.9% of circumstances. I'll go into more detail about this later on when it becomes relevant.
But we still get items for winning, right? Yes, we will. That's another good reason to train.
Yeah, let's try it out.
And this is the grinding portion of the game.
There's a trail leading into the shadows. That demon must have come from there.
Maybe we should follow it.
In order to gain new overskills and increase your stats, you need to spend time and actually use weapons repeatedly in battle. This is the grinding portion of the game. Alright, so let's do one practice run just to show you what it's like.
Alright, let's do it!
Yeah! Okay, so one thing I want to mention here right now. In the Game Boy Advance version, when you did a practice battle, the battle that you get is completely random. So it may be a bit annoying if you're going for specific item drops. However, in the PSP version, you can pick whatever battle you want. So that is fantastic. Alright, so I'm going to do this one because it's only one enemy, so it's very easy. There's no chance of me of losing. And finally, it has the most HP of the enemies, really. Alright, so just choose whatever. I'm going to train with my iron sword, my rapier, my ribbon, and finally, actually, I want to show you Lena's overdrive with the bow as well. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, actually. Yeah, let's do it. Sounds good.
Lena won't lose!
May I just add, the music that plays during practice battles, I really like the guitar portion of the song. It just sounds really nice and crisp. Alright, so with the ribbon, as you can see here, it gives you a buff. And that buff is that you are protected from bad status effects. So that includes things like poison, freeze, dazzle, and other such status effects. Which may prove to be useful, but you really don't need to keep this item around. So after I learn this overskill, I'm probably just going to discard it. Alright, let's learn the rapier overskill. Now, let's talk about stat gains. So there are a couple of things you need to know about it. One, you will always gain 1 vitality point for any overskill that you learn. And it doesn't matter what item it is and what overskill, you will always gain 1 vitality. Second, the attack stat that you gain is 1, dependent on the item that you learn to overskill from, and 2, the character that learned to overskill from the item. So for example, with Lena, she gains magic when she learns an overskill from using a scythe. However, when Iron learns an overskill from using a scythe, he actually gains strength. So you can see the difference there. And not only that, the the actual numerical stat value is fixed dependent on the item that you actually used. So with Lena, she will always gain 6 strength for every overskill that she learns with a bow. And finally, with the HP bonus, it's actually a little bit different as well. The HP bonus that you gain is dependent on when you learn it during the game. So for example, during Chapter 2, the amount of HP that you will gain is 25 for every overskill that you learn. Now, if you learned an overskill during Chapter 3, you will actually gain a HP bonus of 30. So yes, very, very interesting things to point out there. So if you want to gain maximum stats, one, you want to get as many overskills as possible, that's the obvious thing. And 2, you want to hold back as long as possible until you need to learn the overskill. However, it's not recommended to do that at all. Anyway, so as you could see there with the dog's overdrive, it actually forced position changes, so we are now in the magic formation. So yes, there are some attacks that will do that. So that's why the position change can be useful if your formation gets messed up. You can use the position change to actually change it back to what it was before. Now I'm in a little bit of a dilemma here. I can either learn the ribbon overskill or use the longbow. I'm going to use the longbow because it looks way cool. Let's do this! Okay, so cut in. Ah, that's so cool. Alright, shoot him in the face. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, baby. Now, obviously, it's not as cool as Ladar's Lost Seraph, but come on, he's a Grim Angel. And we're just starting out here.
Yes!
Overskill ho! Risoluto! So as you can see there, Thea will always gain 6 strength when she learns an overskill from a rapier, and always 1 vitality. Alright, so one other thing that I need to mention here, and that is the item drops that you get from random encounters. Oh yes. So the item drops during random encounters, you cannot get S rank level item drops. The maximum item drop that you'll get is A rank. So for example, with the plant enemy that I encountered when I first came here, if I S ranked it, I got a Rose Whip.
I wonder what's up ahead.
Why are you? I'm explaining something. Anyway, as I was saying, you get the Rose Whip if you S rank the plant. However, if you S rank the plant during the practice battle, you will get the A rank drop. So you can't farm for S rank level item drops, which is a bit of a shame.
Nothing, I hope.
I bet there's something. We have come across a lot of demons so far.
Fia, what's wrong?
Shh.
Be very quiet.
I heard leaves rustling.
What about you?
Lena didn't hear anything. I hope you're right.
Maybe I should inspect this tree.
Fine. Let's check it carefully. I don't see anything.
What should I do?
Now you have a couple of choices here. You can shake it, keep watch, or ignore. Now I'm going to keep watch here.
Let's keep watch for now.
I hear voices.
Now this is a really cool part about the game, because not only do you learn about the characters that you're playing as, but you also learn about some of the enemies and how they act and how they feel about situations and whatnot.
Yeah, it's so stressful. Everyone needs a break, man.
There are soldiers in the bushes.
They haven't noticed us yet.
What should we do?
We need a decoy.
Did someone say decoy? Who would be the best decoy, Fia or Lena? Well, Lena did prove to be a very good actor, so I guess Lena would be a useful decoy, why not?
Lena, you'll be the decoy.
Decoy?
It's your job to distract the soldier. Meanwhile, Fia and I will launch a surprise attack. So, what do you think?
You want me to do it?
Yeah, of course, you're a good actor.
Wouldn't Fia be better?
No, you can do the job.
Actually, they're less likely to harm a child. Lena, you'll do fine. Good luck.
Now, there's just one thing I want to point out here. Fia referred to Lena as a child. This will become very relevant later on. And don't worry, I will point back to this particular situation when it comes to it. But for now, please keep that in mind.
You better save me. I can only pretend for a little while.
Relax, we'll save you.
Just believe in me, Lena.
Help!
Who's there?
Please, help me!
All right. Tell me what's the matter.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh no, Lena hesitated.
Oh crap.
We'd better hurry. We can use this chest.
Looks pretty painful.
Oh man, we're going to throw a giant chest at this guy's face. Are you ready? Alright. Gotta relax myself. Gotta use my legs, not my back.
Wow.
Alright, let's do this, Iron.
Throw the chest.
Here goes nothing.
Oh crap, it's one of these mini games. I'm really bad at these. Oh, I nailed it. And he's down for the count.
Hey! Nice work, I knew I could count on you.
No problem. I got you covered, buddy.
The chest was quite heavy. That thing must have hurt.
Alright, so before we move on, let's inspect the tree.
What about the contents of the chest?
Oh, well, let's take it. More canine fangs, we don't need those. Discarded. Alright, so as you can see here, we have a next. And if you look at the mini-map here, this leads to the next section of the Lacrima Castle. So, usually what I do is, once I get to this type of area here, I would actually use this time to grind up my overskills. So then, after I'm done, I can just move to the next screen and save my progress immediately. So in case I screw something up later, I don't have to do all that grinding again. Now obviously there's another area here, but we'll come back to that later. You'll see what I mean. Alright, so I will do some grinding off screen and then I'll meet you back here in a jiffy. Alright, so I'm done with this battle. So I think what I want to do here is I just want to give a quick view of the overskills that I will learn, as well as the stat gains, and any notable things about the overskills.
Alright!
So I learned Iron's Sword Blitz, which is from learning the Iron Sword overskill. So it's pretty basic, 3 hits.
Alright!
Okay, so this move I learned from using the Fire Orb, and I believe what it does is that it will increase fire resistance on all of your allies.
Yay!
Okay, so I learned this overskill from using the ribbon, and I believe it will give you the status resist buff to all of your allies when you use it.
Yes!
Alright, so the sword overskills that Fia learns, they are actually magic based, not physical based. So they depend on her magic stat for damage, so something that you need to take note of. And finally, Mixed Potion. So I learned this overskill from using the healing herbs that I picked up in the very first area of Chapter 2. And when you use this overskill, it will convert all of the healing herbs that you have left into potions. Hell yeah! Alright, so what I think I want to do here really quickly is go to another practice encounter.
It's best to be prepared.
And I'm going to go with the gatekeepers, because there's something I want to mention here as well. Alrighty then, so boppity boppity boo. Alright, so skills that I need to learn. With the Flamberge, I'm not going to learn the overskill for that. Okay, so what about Rapier? So I need to learn the Rapier, Fia needs to learn the Bow, and Lena can learn the Scythe, and might as well throw the Whip in there too. Why not? Okay, let's do this. Actually, no, rewind. Rose Whip and the Healing Herb, because I want to show you what happens when you actually use the overskill with the Healing Herb, just for funsies.
Let's give it our all.
Alrighty then, so while this is going on, what I want to show you guys here is that the mage guy drops a mage ring when you defeat it last in a practice battle, and you will get an armor from the knight dude when you defeat that guy last in a practice battle. And with those particular items, they are support type items, so the... wait, was it the mage ring? No, it wasn't the mage ring. I'm sorry, my bad. This mage guy here drops a cape. My bad. So the cape will raise your agility in battle by, I think it was 10. However, as with most support items, they're not really that useful. To be quite honest, the only useful one is probably the power wrist. And as for the armor, that will increase your vitality by 10 when you use it. And the only reason why I'm mentioning these two specific items, and well, support items in general, is that some characters can learn overskills from them as well. So as for the case of the cape, Lena can learn an overskill from that. And as for the armor, I do believe that Iron learns an overskill from that.
Shred you to pieces! Dancing Saber!
Alright. Oh, and one more thing. The mage guy, you need to be a little bit careful, because that dude's overskill is a full screen ice elemental attack. And that can cause freeze. And as for the knight's overskill, as you can see there, it added some fire at the end. You know, not much to talk about there. Okay, stat. That didn't do that much. Alright, so I have 3 levels of overdrive. Might as well show off the Fia's lovely alchemy skills. So it converts this item into potions.
On guard!
On guard. Yep, on guard. Stand back, people. Fia's making potions. Give her room. Yeah, epic potion mixing. How lovely. Alrighty then, so Lena, do your Rose Whip thing. Beautiful. And you go do your thing with the rapier. Here you go. And then at this point, I will probably show off Fia's level 3 as well. Since, well, I have it on me. Why not? And we have to watch this again. So, doop-a-doop-a-doo. And the slash. Fire. No fire. Okay. So the fire thing at the end after his breakout is a random chance for it to occur. Alright, so let's check out Fia's level 3. So the special thing about Fia's level 3 and her rapier skills in general is that they will ignore enemy vitality. So they will do a very consistent amount of damage to all enemies. The only problem is that Fia's strength stat is pretty low.
My resolve shall prevail! Risoluto!
Hell yeah. So now you're probably wondering, wait, you had the Razier. Could you learn an overskill from that? Yes, yes you could. And that means that you will have access to what is essentially Fia's most powerful overskill, but you only have one use of it. So, you know, not really much point in keeping it, really.
Yay!
Rosy roll, yay! So 2 strength, not much, but every bit counts. And there we have armor. Beautiful. So, now here's the thing about the ribbon. There was maybe one fight in this entire game where the ribbon will benefit you. However, it's near the end of the game, so you'd have to keep the ribbon in your inventory until that point. And my philosophy is, if you're not going to use the item in the same chapter, or the next chapter that you will be exploring, just drop it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop my ribbon. Alright, so more grinding! More overskills, yay!
Alright!
Andeix. So that's the overskill that Iron learns from the Rapier. Terra Swing. This is the skill Lena learns from the Scythe.
Yes!
Cleave Arrow. This is the overskill Thea learns from the Bow. Hooray! More overskills time!
Alright!
Alright, so this is the overskill from the Longbow with Iron.
Alright!
And this is with the Scythe.
Alright!
This is with the armor. Alright, so with the armor, it looks like I gained +4 magic from that. That's kind of cool.
Yes!
And Thea learns an overskill from the Coral Staff. Now, there's one thing I want to mention about the Coral, or the staffs in general. Thea can actually heal the character with the lowest HP using a staff. And that's kind of useful to have if you don't have any potions on hand. Now, with this overskill, it is a magic-based attack, and it is non-elemental in this case. And not only that, it actually can't hit any airborne enemies, which is fairly odd in this game, to be quite frank. But anyway, and as you can see here, we got the cape from the mage guy. So let's ditch the armor and overskill with the cape. And the last set of overskills for now.
Alright!
Alright, so we've got Force Impact from learning an overskill with the staff.
Yay!
Then we have Cape Magic from learning the overskill with the cape. And that is the item drop from the plant when you A rank it. And what this does is that you throw it at the enemy and it can cause them to go to sleep. So yeah, it's pretty useless. Alrighty then. So that's pretty much the grinding that I will have to do in Chapter 2 for now. I will need to do some more at a later date, but I will show you when we get there. But for now, let's head on to the next area and end the video. Alright, so I will see you guys next time, whenever that may be.